Я слышал, что там в Сан-Паулу есть, как это называется, Memorial to Immigrant. Ну, вот, там тоже наверняка есть экспонаты, касающиеся истории корейцев в Бразилии. Вот можно из истории немножко?
There is even a documentary that has been, I think, it went out last year, and we have 60 years of immigration. It started, I don't know the exactly, but it's 67, I think, or the 70s. And they were coming through Paraguay. Brazil, on that moment, he held a politics to receive foreign people. But and then we have a first immigration, which is from Paraná, but it was a Catholic intervention with small families, maybe 20 or 30 families that went there to farm, basically. And then it was maybe first World War One, this first small immigration, but the biggest immigration is near from the 70s. And it happens because of politics, because the government will give a lot of benefits to foreign people that go to Brazil. But this was like 67, but in 68, Brazil has a dictatorial government which came in and changed all of the rules, especially to foreign people. And then the Koreans, which come by legal way, the first ones were legal, but the other ones don't. And this first community was like, hey, come here, let's come to Brazil. And in the middle of everything, it changed. So people start to enter through Paraguay. Like most of Koreans, they did that. And they come through Paraguay, and someone stay there, but other ones come to Mato Grosso do Sul, which is maybe I didn't know about that until 30 days before, but they are a big Korean community in Brazil. And then in the 70s, they come illegal. Like a lot of Koreans came to Brazil, and they started to work with clothing and confection and stuff, textile industry. For a while, until those days, I think there's some neighborhoods, which is Korean neighborhoods, and they basically sell textile clothing stuff. And then it was a difficult relation with the government because of the fines, and they are doing business, but they are illegal, so that caused them a lot of trouble with policemen and something like that. And then we start to bring the big multinational companies in the 90s, years 2000, and then we have another immigration, which is the expatriate. I don't know how to, but the people who are invited from Korea to work in Brazil. And they are different. They are not the Korean community. They are like a part of Korea that lives in Brazil. They bring their own chefs. They have their own restaurants. And we spread the community in the old community and the new community, the new generation. And then immigration was kind of hard because of the language. Portuguese is a hard language to speak. And because of that kind of trouble, the parents say to the kids, please learn Portuguese, speak Portuguese, don't speak Korean anymore. I just need you to translate me. And the first immigrant sons, first generation, was always working like interpret or like little lawyers that are always fixing some trouble to their parents because their parents cannot even understand. So it was a difficult time at the first immigration. And now we have ordinary, like some people who want to invest and open a new factory and try something new. And they are spreading through the country, which is, again, real big.
Бразильские корейцы, они жили компактно, да, тоже, чтобы им легче как бы адаптироваться, они тоже по районам, да, каким-то микрорайонам жили компактно, да? Это сейчас продолжается?
Different areas spread it out from the whole country.
Сейчас есть какая-то статистика, сколько корейцев там женились в браке там для иностранцев, сколько?
So we are creating a new index now. There's not a number on it, but I can say from like common sense that the Korean marriage is still the most popular in Brazil, but it's changing, and it's changing fast. You see the mixed families, they are spreading, and I had a friend in Brazil, and he's now dating a Brazilian woman, like German, Italian, and his mother talked to me about it, and her mother's like, okay, I'm happy. We're not in the last century. The world is getting mixed, and I'm okay with that. So I think that mentality is changing already in the generations. And Brazil is the country that kind of thing happen every time. All cultures, this is the good thing about Brazil, I think. The ethnical groups are, they in some time, like the Japanese, they are not more Japanese, they are Brazilians. And simple like that, because they are maybe 100 years in Japanese immigration. I think 100 years, 120, something like that, and they are totally inside of Brazilian culture. There's not like stigma or something like that if a Japanese married with Brazilians, normal. And
100% assimilated.
I don't know if 100%, but yeah, 95 maybe.
А сколько у самого Гильерме крови корейской? Как так? Как смиксовалось? Вот папа, дедушка там.
Yeah, I know. I was at Portugal now, and my last name is Mораes. I discovered the village that this family started because it's like Spain and Portugal. It was almost the same thing for a lot of time. And so I have a Portuguese last name, and when I was at Portugal, I see a lot of men that look like my grandfather. Physically, so much look like my grandfather. So yeah, we have Portugal. I have. She was my grandmother, and she was Italian and Portuguese. And my mother, she is Japanese and Korean.
Wow.
So I am 25% of a lot of things.
У нас, у русскоязычных корейцев, есть самоназвание, Урусарам. Да. Интересно, в Бразилии есть самоназвание? И как сами бразильцы их называют?
Call
We
yourself.
call Kyopo.
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 Just simply Kyopo.
Kyopo.
Говорили про Калинтаун, да? Это что за проект такой? Сколько, это что будет? Это будет здание, это будет квартал?
Улица.
Улица.
Да, как Chinatown, вот в разных городах и странах есть,
Мгм.
да, вот именно улица.
А там предполагается только какие-то вот рестораны или же какие-то культурные там заведения тоже?
We already have some wall paintings, big ones, like good artists that draw Humboldt girls, and it is already a street that hold maybe 15 Korean restaurants, all of them pretty traditional. You have like Korean markets, small markets. You have Korean pharmacies, and so basically the businessmen from that region they are maybe 80 or 85% from Korea. So there was a project. It's 2 blocks, maybe 2 blocks. Yeah, 2 blocks. And it was a proposal to the government. It was like, okay, the Korean community will get together and finance because the sidewalks are bad. They're like destroyed. And because we have an issue in Brazil, I need to talk about that because there's a lot of drug abuse in a region that is really near from our neighborhood. And the last governor, he withdraw some of those addicts from one place and he put them like real close to us. And then we start the movement to, first of all, bring cameras and stuff to stop robbery and that kind of stuff. And the second of it will be get the sidewalks fixed. And in the proposal, we said, okay, we want that, but we want something in return, which is the lamps, the Korean lamps, those red and blue lamps. And we submitted to the city hall, but there is house which is from the Jewish people that doesn't want that because it's like in their block. So they want to stop the project and I mean, but the rest of the communities, the Bolivians, all another Jewish associations like synagogues, they all sign with us. Because again, we're going to bring to 2 blocks cameras, new sidewalks, and improve the light of the street. So it will be place with norebans. There's already 3 or 4 on that street. Street food, dancing saloons. Our association is there. So it's really, I can't call Koreatown because we have a Japanese neighborhood in São Paulo, which is another problem because it happened the same thing 50 years ago and it was a black neighborhood. So now the black people are like, oh, this is a bad thing to us because there was slaves here and this is why the neighborhood is ours. So we have this clash between ethnical groups, but on the other hand, all of the people that live on the neighborhood and near of the street, they are all with us because of the real estate. Yeah. So basically will be street lighting, new sidewalks, and new facades to the restaurants. I believe it will be really good.
Какая длина предполагается вот этой вот улицы?
Maybe, I don't know if it's 1 or 2 kilometers or 1.5 kilometers.
Есть дата реализации?
That is because now the mayor and the government, they enter in the circuit just because Brazil is real difficult to this kind of stuff. So you have federal government, you have state government, and you have city hall. the three of them must approve it. So if one of them stopped, all the project stops. But there's Korean money involved. So who put the money is like, okay, when am I gonna see my lamp? I believe that the president of Korea is going to São Paulo in November, and I think the goal is to July. I think be ready in July.
И не искали спонсорство там в Корее, чтобы они влились, и для них же это тоже будет площадка, где они могут размещать свой бизнес.
100% local, and today who is in the front of it? It's the association, the Korean association. But it's a association's project today. This Koreatown project, it started when we make a Korean festival. So there will be somonori and the dances and stuff, and I mean maybe 100,000 people were there in 1 weekend. So okay, we have people that consumed that. Koreatown project, yeah, it's important because it is important to Korean businessmen in São Paulo. It's real important because now they are finally receiving back all of the efforts and investment that they did. But you still have some real, and maybe I just can call but a spiritual movement. It's not logical. There is some generations which have nothing to do with Korea, but their passion and their love are maybe the same that their ancestors. So I can see people around me, like second generation, they're like, oh, I don't want anything about Korea, and because my parents, they're so bad to me, and they're like, but third generation is like, oh, I'm so glad to be Korean, I'm so proud to be Korean, I want to discover more about it. So I like my last name, I like the way that I look, because it's good to all of us. This K-wave, it was good to us, because in Brazil, it was not a good thing to be Korean. It was not a good thing to be Asian, though.
Есть ли такое вот в Бразилии, когда корейцы эмигрируют, трудовую миграцию в Корею? Вот как у нас это популярно, да, в Казахстане, в странах СНГ. Многие уезжают туда, на заработки работают.
На заводы?
На заводы, да. Или просто даже там, может, какой-то бизнес. Есть ли такое вот и в Бразилии?
If you go into statistic, maybe 20% of the Koreans come back.
But those are people who succeed in Brazil.
Yeah.
So they do have money. They don't need to go to Korea to earn money.
If you were a Brazilian, you have a Brazilian mind, you know how things work in Brazil, and you go to Korea, it's like, it's a different, way different world. So this is why I don't believe that, maybe the younger generation, but all of them, they have money. All of them who come back to Korea and try to make something, they always want to seek for the best opportunities to link those two countries. And that is why they back to Korea. But if a Brazilian Korean wants to make money and Brazil is not good, he can go to Portugal, he can go to United States, he can go to Paraguay, which is closer, Uruguay especially.
Здесь корюсарам давно живут, и наша кулинарная традиция, она как-то адаптировалась к местному, да, получилась корейская советская кукси. Есть ли наподобие такое же блюдо, только в Бразилии?
Do you have any special extra
Korean
Brazilian mix?
Yeah, we have.
Wow.
It's not like an institutional dish, but we have the famous dish in Brazil called feijoada, which is beans. It's like a bean soup with pork and rice. So it's a stew basically. Because it was a slave food. So the farm guy, he killed a pig, he take the best parts of the pig, he gave the worst parts of the pig to the slaves, and the slaves invented this delicious dish. And most of Korean Brazilians like feijoada with kimchi. Feijoada and kimchi are just the perfect combination. Korean culinary is being famous in Brazil, so the big chefs are going to the restaurants and doing something together. But the most important is I have a friend in Santa Catarina. I mean, it's not the big community, and this is why it's so random. Sometimes I found a guy like in the Santa Catarina, 600 kilometers distance of São Paulo, and the guy has a lot of kimchi that he does by himself. So I can knock on his door and, hey man, give me kimchi please. And he is the most creative chef that I ever know. He's always invented some different dishes with Korean and Brazilian culinary, especially because of the Italian food that it's real present in our lives because of Italian people that went to Brazil. So pasta with Korean spices and gochujang and everything basically. So yeah, there is some dishes, and in São Paulo you can find burgers that it's the mixed culture already, the way that we like to have our burger. And there's gochujang, there's kimchi, there's cheese. Kimbap is also the very favorite of the chefs to do the crazy things, you know.
Он был в Корее, пробовал там как кимчи местное. Насколько кимчи отличается и чем отличается?
Tastes different. I don't know how to explain. I don't know if it's the ingredients. I don't know if it's the weather, but food in Korea is different by himself. If you eat bread, I mean, look like they taste different, the bread that you have in Korea to the rest of them. So the worst problem in kimchi in Brazil is the neighbors. The neighbors. They don't like the smell. And we had stories of people getting kicked out from their houses because of doenjanjjigae or because of the kimchi. Yeah. But coming back, yeah, food in Korea is like, I can't explain. I still can find some logic on that. But I must say that I went to Portugal and I tried there. I don't know if it's because of it's near from the sea and they kind of have some ingredients, but it's real good too. I mean, it's not Koreatown. To me, it's the second best Koreatown in Los Angeles. But Portugal is real close to it. Brazil still have some path to go.
Всегда, вот когда живешь, ты не всегда понимаешь, что ты кореец, да. Приходит возраст, и только тогда что-то ты начинаешь чувствовать. Он помнит этот момент, когда он как-то вот это ясно почувствовал и осознал, что а я, кажется, кореец, у меня что-то вот... Или встретил что-то родное и почувствовал, да, это мое.
When I first stepped in Korea, my first step there, I realized that I was part of that somehow. Because grow as a mix with Korean, Japanese, Italian, Portuguese, and São Paulo is not an easy task because you're not part of the community. Me and my family, we are 0% included in the Korean community because we were raised by the Japanese side of the family. And my contact with Korean community comes when I have 20 years old. But when I get in Korea and I see like a Korean lady just cleaning the, the bathroom, it was just the first shock to me, because you don't see a Korean woman like cleaning a bathroom in São Paulo. Because I realized that the way that I behave and the way that my new friends behave, it's so much we look like, and we can, I feel myself included more than all of my life, because I cannot speak Korean, and my friends knew about it, and they are all there and want to speak in Korean to each other, but they are always taking care of, oh, the guy is talking this, okay? They are always translating something for me. There was always someone that was worried about me. And then there's a moment to me with it that I really feel myself, I can identify and I can still feel that moment if I come back, which is the first hangover. The first day we went out and we drank a lot of alcohol, and the next day I was like the big hangover, and then two friends of mine, they are younger than me, and I was like in a Brazilian meal, like fat meat and stuff, and so two of my friends come to me, first one with a soup, and he said, oh, Hyun, take your soup. And I, what? It doesn't happen. That doesn't happen in my country. And then the other one just bring me a tea and said, please take this, you're gonna get better. So, and when we go to a room to drink and stuff, I was like sitting against the wall, and some people that doesn't know me bring a pillow to me and said, oh, put that on your back, please. So what I mean is, I realize the Korean people, they are always taking care of each other with simple matters. I don't know if
눈치 있으니까.
I don't know if it's like because of the food, because we are always sharing things, but this is the biggest difference, and that is how I felt Korean for the first time. And that day, nobody would ever call me Hyung in my life. So yeah, now in Portugal, people are looking at me and they are speaking English with me. They didn't have the clue that I can speak Portuguese. So yeah, it's part of this process of identity. And all of my friends know me as a Korean. Oh, the Korean guy. Oh, Coreano. And nobody knows me for my name, Brazilian names. Everybody know me as Kim in Brazil. So yeah, I feel myself pretty much.
Задумка или план максимум, да, это вот, чтобы люди, наверное, почувствовали то, что он сейчас рассказал. Вот все окружающие, вот те люди, которые там живут, могли бы через это хоть как-то испытать те же самые чувства, что и он испытал в Корее.
I believe so. Maybe not now, because it's a project and nobody is like real interested on that. Like the young people, second, third generation, they're like, okay, whatever. When you bring some people like that with, oh, I don't want to be Korean and stuff, but when you come and you have dinner with him and you go to Norebang, he cannot be another person. He will be Korean. So what I mean is, I'm pretty sure that not all of them, but majority will see the difference of being Korean. How, and I mean, it's not that we are better or worse, we are just different, and we make things happen. So we are spreading the world, like we're going to make Koreatown and we're going to make, and the guys, whatever, but when it's done, they will see that. And it was not the traditional Koreans that did that. It was just all of us, we are all new in the community, we are all mixed up, we are all second, third generation. It is our goal, like bring, but not bring the second or third generation, it's bring her wives, her husbands, their kids. Okay, whatever. If you don't want, you are the third generation and you don't want nothing, but your son has the right to feel part of it. And your wife, she also have the right to feel it.
So it's not only about business.
No, it's not business. It's not business at all, I think.
Мы, корюсарам, да, мы можем сказать о себе, мы корюсарам, мы говорим на русском языке. Мы любим там Пабимури, мы любим Пупси, да, мы любим Пупчай. Мы там дядю называем там Мадабай, там, да, там дедушку там Харабуди. Как он может также такую характеристику дать, вот я бразильский кореец, ее обобщить, вот мы говорим на это, мы едим на это, мы к маме там, маме как они обращаются, там, мамай, папай, или же там, ома, или абуди, или же на португальском, да, или на английском, как это у них вот такие вот краткие можно характеристики?
The average Korean is the church Korean, like all the Saturdays, and he's going to marriage with Korean women. He's going to take his kids to the same school that all of the other Koreans study. He will go to the golf club and do business down there. He's going to meet his friends on the Korean restaurant. He just assimilate too much the Brazilian culture. Still is, I think it's the dominant class. Although some of them, it's already starting to change, like, because Brazilian is a real happy people. We are always making party and barbecue, and because the meat is cheap in Brazil. So, what's caritza? Caritza.
Caritza?
What it means?
Caritza?
Caritza or something like that.
Caritza.
Carit.
Caritza.
Yeah.
Caritza is a Korean people.
Korean people.
Okay.
But caritza is a cinnamon.
Okay. We want to be global in our association. This is my goal, my personal target, because the target of this president is to prepare me to be the next president, because he's an older guy, and he said, "You going to spread to the whole Brazil, all abroad, like we have the Korean festival." And he said, "You're going to find those cities that we can bring this festival and do like a circus, you know, bring artists and food and this is my mission now, to take this to whole Brazil, and why not to the world. Especially my personal mission is the older people living in difficult situations with the kids, like abandoned. There's a lot of them in Brazil, a lot. Like abandoned, like Ajushi doesn't have any kid, and he need the basics, you know. The guy doesn't have food. So, and I discovered that this is a global movement, like abandon your parents and whatever, let the nature took care of it. And in our association, this is it's 30% of our job, maybe, to give support to elderly people. And I know that, especially third world, South America, even Portugal, I discovered that there's poverty in Portugal to Koreans, elderly people. So, and we know, because immigration is not easy. So first generation, the guys who come there kind of get crazy sometimes, get mad, curse the kids, expel them from home, fight all the time. Yeah. So when they get old, his son like, okay, whatever. And it's common. It's painfully common. Abandon. Because in Brazil it's not a common thing to take care of your parents. Okay.
So you told that you have the Japanese side also.
Mm-hmm.
Have you been to Japan?
Never.
And do you have that curiosity like the Korean side?
No.
Why?
I don't have.
Why?
I don't know. It's natural.
Still, okay, your mom is half Japanese.
Yeah. It's Fukushima.
Yeah, right. The Japanese name. And, like, okay, you have an interest in Korean culture. This does make sense. But, I don't know, if I were you, I would probably would be interested in Japanese culture as well because this is a part of your blood, of your mom's blood as well.
Yeah, but I have autism too, and I work inside of my specifically interests. If I get focused on something and if I like that kind of, I go and I study all that I can until I can't handle anymore. And I still didn't have this, didn't happen. It's not because I want to live in Korea or no, it's just because it is. My life, my relationships, the people that are, surrounding me, they are Korean. And they accept me and they bring me to their, we know that what it means to be Korean is when somebody is killing yourself in a desk like this, and we stop and say, let's have lunch all together. Nothing happened. And we drink and we come back to this table and we kill ourselves, each other on the table, and then we go into the dinner and we're going to be cool again. I don't know, it's part of who I am, and I have Japanese family and it's different. If you hurt, if you say something bad to my Japanese cousins, he will stay 2 years without talking with me. He will hold some grudges, oh, you talked that to me. But with my Korean family, let's see, you can kill each other, basically, and it's all good.
And the next day, like, hey, let's go eat.
Yeah.
Вот мне интересно, вот они сейчас тоже так же делают? Это хантик. Они тоже так делают, да, вот поклоны, когда вот приходят там на кладбище корейское, Korean.
Wow.
Korean cemetery.
Да, Гильерме, это еще 19 век.
It's 19th century.
Wow.
Там корейское имя.
So, do you know about Hansik?
Yeah?
Do you?
What?
Hansik.
Hamsik.
Hansik. So, это же в Корее.
Ну, у нас здесь тоже мы отправляем. Мы
Да,
ждем
да.
на кладбище. Это поминовение предков.
So, it happens annually on April 5. The Korean. So when you go to your ancestors, and you need to bow.
Oh, okay.
All this-
Okay. We
So
have
it's
this.
called Hansik.
Okay, we have some similar in Brazil. We call it's a bad name. It's the Dead People Day, like if you translate, and it's November 2. But this is a tradition that I hold from my grandmother, which was a Japanese. I have an altar in my house, and I do it daily. Daily, yeah. It's called butsudan. Butsudan. The same thing, you put like an altar and you put pictures of the people and you can fire on incense.
Candles?
Incense.
Oh.
You know? the smell good
Right,
thing.
right.
Yeah.
Да.
Yeah. And you light that and you offer what people like to eat. So my grandmother, she loves coffee, so the first coffee I bring to her. But it's a daily activity.
So you make a coffee every day?
We make coffee, a lot of coffee. So the first one go to her every day.
Вау. Это прям очень круто, конечно.
Каждый день ходить пробовать
Да.
прикольно.
Good.
To my grandfather too, the Korean one.
When do you do that? In the morning or when you have time?
Morning, the first thing in the morning.
The first thing.
First
The
thing
very
you do,
first thing.
the first thing you do in the morning is make your coffee, live to Uncle Bachan. I live to Bachan, Haraboji, and I said thank you. Good coffee to you. Yeah, so it's a. This is the good thing to be, I think, Japanese, Korean. You can bring what's best from the two cultures. There's nothing against it. Okay, what is a country? It's a narrative. It's a story that someone told to get more power. But after all, what I realized, like traveling, it just exists to politicians. We are free as our passport tells us that we are, but the eagles doesn't need passport, and the cows doesn't need passport, the fish, sharks, so we are not free. And I do believe that one day, maybe my grandchildren will be free. If I feel myself free when I came here. No visa here, okay? So the guy just looked into my face and that's kind of a freedom. But when I arrived in Portugal, because of the Brazilian immigration, they ask a lot of questions. But I have a formal invitation from the university. So where's the freedom?
In your mind, first of all.
Самое главное.
So I try to not put things in the boxes. I just like a big box with a lot of things inside. Yeah, but and I don't think, and it's really curious what you said, because I have my mother and my auntie. They are the same parent mother. My mother is 100% Korean. If you look at her physically, she looks like a Korean woman. If you look at my auntie, they have 2 years of difference. It's a Japanese woman. If you put my mom in a table, you see that she's a Korean. She will drink, smoke, curse, shout. And my auntie will be like quiet. Japanese way, 100% Japanese way, and my mother 100% Korean way. Same education, same father, same mother, same school. How can you explain that? Blood is so strong.
Interesting, yeah.
This eyes, your eyes. This is a sign of how strong is our DNA. Yeah, of course it is. If you have, if you go back into history, we are Mongols.
Sure.
Am I wrong?
You're right.
You're right.
Shimmery. Manchuria. Yeah, that's true.
So,
My grandfather is from Manchuria.
yeah.
He born in Manchuria.
Mine too. They came from China.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Have you spoken to
My
him?
ancestors came from China to Korea, and they did something like good for a king. So he gave him a land and a Korean surname.
Okay.
But originally he was from China.
Manchuria is China these days.
Yeah, right.
But Manchuria is the Korean. It was the Korean. It belongs to Korea from some time. Because I know that when my grandfather started his life, he a little
It used
before.
to be a part of like Koguryo? Or...
Yeah, Goguryeo.
Koguryo. Да, если вы посмотрите на историю, вот там, это была там действительно огромная территория Китая, она была как Когурё.
Как и часть Дальнего Востока.
Yeah, and my grandfather, he doesn't like Korea that much. He say that he's like Manchuria. He always talk about Manchuria. Because it's when the communist government ended, and you cannot say communist or communism close to him. He was a military, so he became mad when he said something looked like communism. Because he lost a sister, starving. Manchuria, she has 4 or 5 years old. This is the most important story of my family, I think, because every time that I don't eat something, my mom just, bah! Somebody died starving. And this is why my grandfather, if I left something in my plate, he just killed me.
Yo.